I'm just gonna start with some goose bites. Actually, we're gonna get the lead wrapped in there first. Let's do 10 wraps of 10-aught. And I just have a little thread base in there to help it from moving around as much. I'll cram that towards the bead. Stay. There we go. And just some light wraps around to stop it from moving around so much, and just get that tagging done. There we go. Make us a thread bump. Come on now. There we go. Just gonna cord this up a bit so we get that bump a little larger. Yeah, that should do. These are nice brown goose bites. I quite like these. They're pretty consistent. And just even them up. You want to have them length of the body. These ones are fighting me a little bit. There we go. Back from there. And angle a little yourself. Maybe. Yeah, those look pretty good. Hey Roman, thanks for dropping in. I'm gonna leave the biots on, just wrap them up. I'll start our taper. And our next bit's some uni French. Should be just big enough for this fly. Tie it in on my near side, just after the lead. We're gonna go with 3 peacock roll. Once they stop fighting me, there we go. We're going to use our thumb. Just drag it along, it'll break. It'll only break around the same area. I'll get rid of your bitter ends. I'll cut them off flush. Bring them right up to the bottom end, right by the bead there. I'm going to tie them in along my side. Wrap around the base, and then we'll start twisting these up. stop it from fraying and separating as much. Okay, one behind, two in front. I'll do that again. And just tie that in on my side there. Cut off your waste bits. Just bury those tags a little bit. There. Oh, nice and smooth. And start working on your collar, but you do want to make sure you're not adding too much bulk there. Okay. Uni French goes under and over. One, two, three, 4, 5. Same thing, we'll tie it off on this side. One wrap on one and two on the other to lock it in. There you go. Unfortunately, I had a little waste piece, but it's too small to do much with. In hindsight, I could have probably put the uni French on an old bobbin and saved waste that way. Well, that's pretty even wrap. This top one's scooting a little bit, so just adjust it a hair. There. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright. Where'd that hackle feather go? There we are. I'm using these really nice burnt. The camera can catch how shiny there. I like them. They're good stuff. So we're just going to be tying in, instead of hackling around, I'm just going to be tying inside legs. We want legs to be a little bit less than the gap of the hook. You can go full gap length if you like it leggy. Just tear them off. What I like to do is fold them in, so if you have them flat like this, and you kind of pinch and then push away from you, and the shiny side's facing me, so it's the dull side. So what you're doing is kind of folding the dull side onto itself. And then you have a double shiny side. And that's where all your color is, so. It just, in my opinion, looks a lot better if you do that. Hey, Vilgrim's in the house. How you doing, man? We got someone from Chile. Sorry, Roman, I don't know why it just took off your whatever you said there. Alright, so we're going to angle this in about a 30%. Can't really do that on the right angle there so you can see, but I'll show you on the other side. So basically angling from the head down to the hook point. And we're just going to do 2 wraps to hold it in. And you can see how it splays out like that. One sec, guys. Got an annoying burr on my thumb. Thread keeps catching on. Sand it down a bit. There we go. Alright. There you go. You can see you get a... Basically, you have equivalent of half a hackle collar. And if you roll it a little more, you can keep it tighter if you want them all in one position. But I'm going for that look. We're just doing 2 wraps just to hold it in place there so we can adjust it. And I'm going to get the other side in. You see how much you're taking off, give or take. Hey, thanks for the sub, mate. Appreciate that. So again, roughly about hook gap width. Line all those ends up. Tear them off the stem. I might actually hackle the next one, but I want to keep these guys consistent. Fold them over. I'll do the far side now. So we're basically just going to be pointing it down. Towards the hook there. Go with 3 tight wraps on that side. Adjust it. Yeah, as long as you don't make your wraps too tight with 2 or 3 wraps, you should be able to adjust your legs. There you go. Top half looks a hair longer to me, so I'm just gonna back it up a bit. Beauty. Okay, I think that got it. Got one batch that's really just springing out. Okay, when I tighten this up, I'll try and get those in. So I don't want them like that. What's with those? Come on, guys, settle down. Alright. Anyway, they're not going anywhere. I'll get the clipper if I can't get them to settle. Not that they make any difference in the water anyway. Alright, so we'll clip off our waist stands. fold them back here so they stand up. I like to clip against my finger. I can feel my scissors really well that way. I can tell how close I'm getting. They don't bounce around. And what that'll do is that'll give you like a really nice soft hackle without actually having the rachis wrapped around. So it's doing a few things. It's not building as much bulk around the head right by the bead if you do wrap, which is fine. That's the traditional way of tying this fly. But if you do wrap, you're going to add the rachis behind the bead, which is going to add a little more bulk, so you just have to be a little more careful what you're doing. Tying them in on each side like this does give them a little bit more propulsion when you're stripping it through the water. They'll have a tendency to flare out, and just gives you a different movement in the water. It's always been a preference of mine, but we're just going that way. And we got the white biots. Yeah, thanks for this, Roman. Appreciate it. Shooting for 500 here. Getting close. Yeah, we're just going to remove 2 biots. This was a really nice pack of biots for being cheap ones. They're really, really nice. They're super long. Like, I mean, look at that. It's a size 10 hook, and it's like almost twice the length. For goose biots, those are awesome. They look more like turkey biots. And yes, Vilgrims, it's Temu turkey or goose biots. So I don't know. People knock on Temu a lot, but really, natural material is natural material. A goose is a goose. Okay, so this one we're gonna bring them curve up because we're tying these in backwards. We want to have them just past the butt there, so right about there. I'm gonna make life easier for you. You want to transfer these as few times as possible, but of course I'm doing it more than I should be. And just placing your hand on top like that. Give yourself 3 wraps. Not on top of each other, but working back. And don't pull your fly out of the vise. There you go. Alright, so we've got those pretty even. I'm just going to bend these back here and see where we're sitting. Okay, those are just a hair longer than I want them to be, so we're going to grab both of these and just give them a gentle tug. Those are pretty perfect. Okay, cool. That's what it looked like on top. Looks like I'm a hair towards me a bit, so we're just gonna twist those. And we're gonna twist them and bugger them up. Closer. Okay. Alright, so we got 3 wraps on there. We're going to do another 2, make for 5. Actually, whatever, did 6. Okay. Now we're going to cut the biots off. you're going to end up with a little tag behind, but it's not going to make any difference to anything because it's going to get folded and covered. You can put a little dab of head cement on there if you want to. A lot of people do. It's so tied down, I don't think it makes much of a difference either way. Once you get these guys where you want them, you should be able to just hold them with your finger. And I'm going to do 2 wraps, not right on the edge. I'll show you in a second here. I'm just going to do 3 because I'm going to be turning my vise and I want it to undo there. Now you can see that there is just a hair on those wraps of space to the bead right there. If you do them right next to the bead, it'll push them over and they'll pop up. So you just need to do it just a hair more over, like a thread or 2 length, towards the hook side and away from the bead. Once those are in, that'll allow you to still be able to adjust it. But I think I got that pretty... It's a little more open than my other ones, but I mean, I actually really like the look of that, to be honest. Yeah, if you just do 2 or 3 wraps there, that'll allow you to adjust it. That's pretty smack on. I'm happy with that. Alright. So now we're going to do 5 more wraps. 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do 2 more wraps. Oh, I'm going to go 3. And that'll build our collar. We got the nice hot spot collar. Should be nice and even all the way around. Some people like a thicker collar, some like a thin. I try to keep mine about 5 thread lengths or so wide. Can't find my whip finish. There we are. So, let's do that again so you can see. So we're just going to hook the line with the whip finish, get it on the bottom, bring it around the fly because we want to get it closer to the bead, cross the line, and we're going to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do like to lay these one after the other so you're not stacking them. In the end, you'll end up with the same knot, but if you lay them so they lay along each other, when you go to tighten it, they'll bind together and suck up. So you'll just end up with a cleaner whip finish. It's just a good habit to get into. If you're going to do it hundreds of times, you may as well do it so you get a pretty result. Let's see, I'm going to pull this. And I like to cut it off so it's finishing just off the edge. There we go. Yeah, not traditional leg style for this fly, but I really like the way, like the open body and the legs out to the side. I mean, it isn't a tractor pattern, it's not imitating any specific nymph, but that's the way nymph legs are, so. We're going to be doing 6 like this, and 6 with a hackle, like a traditional Prince Nymph hackle. Should just be a soft hen hackle. Got nothing wrong with either one. They both have their merits. It's size 10, I think I might have mentioned that. So we're just using the Hackle head cement by Hook and Hackle Canada. And the main reason you want to use that first is it'll soak into the thread wraps, because there's a lot of thread wraps there and everything's, well, the majority of the fly is being held on by that one pinch point. So that'll soak right in there and get them nice and hard. And we'll take a dollop of Sally Hansen's on the top there just to give it a little more strength by where the biots are. And adds a little shine to the head. That'll stop the biots from bending around as much while you're winging it. Add a little durability. You can go with just one or the other. And we'll just give that a minute to dry and we'll get our next one set up. Well, I'm happy with that one. I mean, those tails splayed out nice. Look at that. Nice and even. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. Ribbon could be a hair evener, but it's a tiny fly, so. Well, there's all the hooks we're going to fill up today. Got the beads on ahead of time, just saves me trouble. Okay, you can go hang out with your brothers there. Get dry on the cork. They look pretty consistent. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to adjust that in the vise here again. There. This Barracuda vise is like a super satisfying detent latch. It's just like the tunk when you get it right. It definitely doesn't feel like it's going anywhere when you get it locked in. That being said, I do keep it a little bit on the lighter side, like the hooks are in there good, just so I don't flatten or wreck the finish. Just enough to hold the hook in, that's what you need anyway. There's a little thread base for the lead. Stay. Stay. Hey, Dustin, good to see you, man. Sorry I wasn't paying attention to the chat. Yeah, I mean, I don't have, the only thing I would say against the Barracuda vices is their tanks. I mean, this thing probably weighs like, I don't know, maybe close to 20 pounds. Like, they're ridiculously overbuilt. But I mean, once you have them on your bench, it doesn't matter. But I mean, if you're moving or traveling around with them, like, they're beasts. So that would be my only real downside to them. But, and the price on them is ridiculous. I mean, they're like $1,000. I did not pay that for this one, though. But I mean, if you're doing production tying like he is, I think it would hold up a lot. Definitely hold up a lot better than like Rossetti or something. And they do have the multiple jaw vice head with the detents in it, which really doesn't work. I mean, I do a lot of smaller flies because that's just my jam. Yeah, the peaks are good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with peak vices. It all comes down to what you have access to and what you are comfortable with. I mean, before this one, all my vices were just cheap, you know, Indian made, like your regular Thompson knockoffs. And those did me well for thousands of flies, so. The only reason I picked this one up is I saw it on Facebook Marketplace for like 35 bucks. I was just like, dang, I'm not passing that up for 35 bucks. Misplaced my brown bites everywhere. Yeah, two things I'm missing for this vise, because it was a used vise, is the bobbin cradle, and I just made one out of like some wire. And it works fine. I'm gonna make a better one out of some thicker wire, because it's just not quite strong enough. But it worked for the meantime. And I don't have the base plate. I would like a base plate. Even though I generally tie with C-clamp, it would be nice to have a base plate. And I'd like a set of the midge jaws, if I ever find any, at a reasonable price, probably on eBay. Because there are different jaws you can replace out. Just because I do mostly smaller stuff. But like if you're doing anything, you know, like 6, 8 plus, it fits wonderfully in those detents, and it doesn't, there's no way it's going anywhere. I'll redo those two. Square up. Oh, I didn't make my little thread knob. That's completely optional. I just enjoy doing it. It seems to flare them out in a nicer angle. But there's plenty of people that tie them in all different ways. Not go very well. Let's do that again. They have a very slight ridge on, well, all biotes do. They have a slight ridge on the trailing side. I think it got caught on that ridge, which is what you'd use if you're, come on now. Which is what you'd use if you were doing a bio body to do a rib. why those guys just don't want to. Gonna grab some new ones. I think I might have bent them. Just gonna check this and make sure I don't have any weird. Oh, the body seems pretty even. I'm not sure why they're doing that. Well, let's start over. Not a big deal. Here's the thing about working with natural materials is every piece you get is different from the last one. Which is a benefit and a downside. I do prefer natural materials over synthetics though. But synthetics have their place. Generally more durable, brighter colors. And of course all of our thread's synthetic. Alright, let's see if I can get these to stick in proper this time. Well, that's better. I like a nice heavy V shape on mine. I don't even think about getting an aluminum plate. Although honestly, I haven't tied with a plate in a while. I used to, and I really enjoyed it. But with the camera setups and everything, it's obviously better for me to have a C-clamp that's not moving anywhere. Because then I can keep my focus. It's actually quite quite difficult to get lighting and focus on such a small area without having it blown out like it is back here. Alright, we're just gonna whip this one off. Okay, moving by it's up, folding back. That'll help us build our taper there. Stray. Thread around there. I wonder if there is a little bit of damage to that section of Buy It Off to check, because this one's doing the same thing where it's not quite laying the same. That's a little better. I'm probably being too picky. Alright, I need some more uni French. Yeah, I mean, your camera setups for fly tying is going to be a lot different than a lot of things that you'd be doing. Because it's basically macro photography. And you need a lot of light. But it's really easy to blow out the image at the same time. So exposure is a real pain in the butt. And the other problem, just camera placement. Oh yeah, just tying in some uni French. This is fine. Now that I'm looking at that, I wonder if I was using... See if I can find my waist end. Might have been using uni French medium. Or not medium, but small. Oh, we're going with that because it's already tied in. And I cut it. That's a spool I had out, so I'm assuming that's what I was using. But who knows? Actually, I'm gonna switch over to this pearl. We're gonna go with 3 strands. I'd like to do more filming outside, like actual fishing stuff, but it's a completely different setup. You know, weather depending, you need different audio setup. Let's cut those. Yeah, I like to do a little more like tie it and then fish it kind of thing, so it would be a lot of fun, I think. So I live within walking distance of like 3 stocked lakes and creeks and all sorts of stuff. Literally half a block from a fishing resort. Yeah, this hurl's just a lot nicer than that other package. I think I'm gonna save that other package for stripped hurls for bodies. So it just doesn't have a lot of fluff to it. Not that it's bad, just would work better for that. So 1 over, 2 behind, 1 over, 2 behind. There we go. That's a nice, fluffy body. I like that one. Oh, I keep forgetting to do this. I'm gonna... There, I modded you, Dusted. I don't have any mods in my chat, so you're the first one besides my wife. There you go. But you definitely have enough experience. You guys do a great job over in Brian's channel. For film and tested stuff, you can pick yourself up something like this. Just a Nikon cool pics, but Sony made a good one. I can get this in shot. Here, this direction. There you go. In my opinion, they work a little better than something like a GoPro. You can mount them just like obviously anything with a what is it, 1/4-inch bolt, like the regular tripod bolt. Benefit of those, batteries last longer. They have heaters in them, so you can film when it's cold out. Otherwise, your batteries just zip off. And they're typically a lot cheaper. I mean, they were really big in the 2010s. But you still get really good quality. Like the lenses are going to be better quality in them, and you can pick up used ones pretty inexpensively, and they're durable. And the nice thing is, like, they have like large buttons and stuff on them, unlike the GoPros, so you can use gloves and you can have wet hands. Just my preference over GoPro. You get a different wide angle shot. Of course, you can change your angles and shots and everything, but you can tell like GoPro footage always looks like GoPro footage. It just has a certain look to it, which I'm not a huge fan of myself, but you do you. I would, if you're looking at different gear though, I'd definitely look on Facebook Marketplace or eBay for, there was the Cool Pixes, there was the Sony's waterproof ones, and then there was, is it Olympic? Oh, got 3 bites instead of 2 that time. My cousin got the Olympic one for filming fishing and stuff, and it was a beast, and it looked amazing. So, the Sony, from my experience, has the best like internal software for the camera as far as autofocusing and all that goes. It's leaps and bounds better than Nikon's. The Nikon and the Sony's actually have the exact same lenses and image sensors, so. But yeah, you can pick those things up all day on Facebook Marketplace and eBay for less than 1/4 of what they used to go for. And the image quality is great, and they're extremely durable. I've literally tied that one to the side of my motorbike and driven around for hundreds of kilometers with mud and dirt and junk just spraying on it, and it's fine. It's been underwater, it's been in the ocean, it's been all over. I haven't had any problems with it. Oh, right. Let's do the legs first. I made that mistake last time. Running out of feather. Wonder if you're big enough that I could hackle you now. No. Still way too big. Alright, we're just gonna pull it off, stay consistent with the other guys. I got 3 there, so I need 2 more. And a roughly hook gap width. fold it over. Point down to the yeah, those turned out pretty good, like that. And just like last time, I'll move around a little bit as we tie the rest in, and we can adjust them. Hear my rooster going off in the yard there. They're probably hungry. It was a cold morning this morning. Had some freezing rain last night. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. I think that's the last for that feather though. Might save the tip for some hackling. There we go. Really simple little legs, but that's my preferred way of doing it. Eyes and fingers are getting tired. I'm having trouble getting these bites when I want them. If you have trouble with your eyesight, you can just use your fingers. You can feel if they're straight or not. For all those older tires out there, or anyone that's just got some sight issues, seems pretty common. Yeah, I love my girls. That crazy noise is my cat. Got a new neighbor, male cat around, and she's thinks he's hot stuff. Who knows? Maybe he is hot stuff. Maybe all the neighbor cats talk about him. go, good enough. I'm probably being way too fussy with them anyway. Nice, a couple more wraps right where the butts are there to hold them in. And then 2 more on the, there, we can whip finish. I don't know, how I'm looking at it, I'm not sure if I was using, I feel like I was using, this is small, isn't it? Yeah, that is small. Weird, it just feels thinner than the last one. I can never find my whip finisher, there we go. Come on, don't lose it. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Come on, man. I'm not sure why the thread decided to jump off there. Let me redo that. There we go. That was kind of odd. I must have pulled on it with the whip finish the wrong angle. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, another Prince Nymph. Now we're just using regular head cement on the threads there, and then I'm going to put a dab of Sally Hansen's on top. Just a little dab on top, just for durability. Right there. No worries, man. Thanks for stopping in. This is my last fly here for now. I'm going to jump back in later. There you go. Prince Nymph. Thanks, Dusted. Have a good one.